Hello, my name is Arleen Salles, and I am the Deputy Lead of the Responsible Research and Innovation Work Package in the Human Brain Project. This part of the module will focus on neuroethics. What is neuroethics? Neuroethics emerged as a response to advances in neuroscience that have been challenging ingrained notions about the structure and function of the nervous system, about the basis of consciousness, about the brain-mind relationship, and even about the foundations of our humanness itself. It was initially defined as examination of what is right and wrong, good and bad, about the treatment of, perfection of, and unwelcome invasion of, or worrisome manipulation of the human brain. This by William Safire in 2002. However, neuroethics does more than just focus on what is good and bad, right and wrong. As a field, it has moved beyond, at times, beyond compliance and normative discussion. It can be broadly defined as a discipline that addresses scientific, philosophical, ethical, legal, and social questions raised by neuroscience and related technologies. Neuroethics is an interface between the empirical brain sciences, the humanities, and the social sciences. It is multi- and interdisciplinary. It uses tools and merges elements from several disciplines, including philosophy of science, philosophy of language, philosophy of mind, moral philosophy, law, but cannot be easily subsumed under one particular classical discipline. Recognizing the need to identify and address the ethical questions that arise from neuroscience research, each of the large-scale initiatives has built a neuroethics team. The goal has been and continues to be to achieve an international landscape in which the discipline of neuroscience recognizes neuroethics as a key component of the neuroscientific enterprise. There has also been a healthy and productive academic debate on the role of neuroethics, and not only in individual labs, but also in big brain initiatives, as you can see. The question, though, is there anything ethically unique about neuroscience? Why does it require a discipline that focuses on the ethical issues that it raises? It has been argued that there is a very intimate connection between our brains and our behaviors, that there is a very peculiar relationship between our brain and ourselves. That in itself already entails unique issues. Without getting into the controversial topic of whether the brain is special or particularly special or not, we can say that neuroscience has the potential for challenging deep-rooted beliefs that we have about ourselves, our individual and collective identity, not only who we are as individual persons, but also as human beings. Our agency, are we fully free? How? Why? And our moral standing. What kind of respect do we deserve? And is that respect related to the brain? On the other hand, neuroscience also has the potential for revealing thoughts that we believe are private. How can human brain data be protected? How can privacy be protected? And how to conceive privacy in this context? And finally, it has the potential for controlling and changing people's thoughts and behaviors. There is a classical distinction that has been made 20 years ago. Adina Roskis presented 2 lines of inquiry within neuroethics. According to Roskis, neuroethics focuses in what she calls the ethics of neuroscience, and also on what she calls the neuroscience of ethics. Now, the ethics of neuroscience entails addressing the ethical issues raised in designing and conducting neuroscientific studies. It also covers the evaluation of the ethical and social impacts that neuroscientific findings may have on society. The neuroscience of ethics, though, is different. It focuses instead on how neuroscientific knowledge may impact humans' understanding of concepts such as free will, self-control, personal identity. The well-known neuroethicist Marta Farah states, New ethical issues are arising as neuroscience gives us unprecedented ways to understand the human mind and to predict, influence, and even control it. These issues lead us beyond the boundaries of bioethics into the philosophy of mind, psychology, theology, law, and neuroscience itself. It is this larger set of issues that has earned it a name of its own. According to Farah, and the same with many others, what makes neuroethics unique is precisely the fact that it addresses some foundational philosophical issues that human beings have been concerned with for millennia. Now, what about neuroethics in the HPP? It is important to note that neuroethics in the HPP was carried out in the context of the Responsible Research and Innovation Area Framework. The neuroethics team in the HPP has made a distinction between three different neuroethical approaches: neuro-bioethics, empirical neuroethics, and conceptual neuroethics. And you can see the bibliography there in the slide. Neuro-bioethics, well, mirrors bioethics. It's a bioethics of the brain to a certain extent. It's essentially practical. It's an approach usually used in research and healthcare settings and regulatory contexts. It entails the application of ethical theory and reasoning to neuroscientific research to address issues such as informed consent, handling of incidental findings, and privacy, for example, and also the application of ethical theory and reasoning to public communication, media representation, and cultural and societal understandings of neuroscience impact, including policy. Empirical neuroethics is fundamentally descriptive. Empirical neuroethicists, or those who focus specifically on empirical neuroethics, use neuroscientific data to inform issues, theoretical, such as how to understand informed consent, how to understand moral judgment, and practical issues. Who can truly give informed consent? Who is a moral agent? Finally, we have conceptual neuroethics. Conceptual neuroethics focuses on, or the method of conceptual neuroethics is, of course, conceptual analysis of key notions. In particular, within the HPP, we have done fundamental neuroethics as developed by Katinka Evers. Fundamental neuroethics questions how knowledge of the brain's functional architecture and its evolution can deepen our understanding of personal identity, consciousness, and intentionality, including the development of moral thought and judgment. Fundamental neuroethics also attempts to provide adequate theoretical foundations required in order to properly address problems of applications. It is very difficult to even imagine a normative discussion regarding what is right and what is wrong if you are not clear exactly of what the main concepts and foundational issues are. Another question that fundamental neuroethics focuses on is, how is neuroscientific knowledge constructed? And why and how can observations about the brain be relevant to philosophical and ethical concerns? What are some neuroethics questions? Of course, there are many, and here I include only a few. One particularly timely: can brain-computer interfaces alter personal identity? What would be the ethical implications of such alteration? Will improved understanding of the brain enable the prediction of risk for future brain disorders? What would this mean? What would be the societal impact? How will collection and sharing of neural data negatively impact public expectations of privacy and confidentiality? How will the development of tools such as the virtual brain impact society? Even further, how far should scientists go in replicating aspects of the human brain? These are important questions, and they all require careful discussion. They all require neuroethical reflection. But an additional question with which I close is, who should participate in this discussion in addition to neuroethicists? Who should be involved as well in trying to identify and address some of those issues? Whose insights do we need in order to continue and have really a very productive and impactful discipline? And this, of course, leads us to the need for neuroethics engagement. Now, the OECD's recommendations on responsible research and innovation in neurotech call for robust public engagement. They state that responsible innovation must enable societal deliberation on neurotechnology. The Council of Europe's document on human rights and technologies in biomedicine states that in order to guarantee that the directions of innovation and the ethical challenges raised by technological developments are robustly deliberated, governance should go hand in hand with broad and informed public dialogue. In its report, the International Bioethics Committee of UNESCO states that engagement must be made inclusive by embracing public values in the innovation and development process. So we do see one thing in common, the call for a rich understanding of engagement. And this leads us to probably saying one word about the way engagement is often understood. On the deficit model of engagement, engagement is transferring information. Instead, what these documents seem to be calling for is going beyond transferring information. Truly engaging with the public means something else. It means inclusivity. It means bidirectionality. In fact, salient aspects of a rich conception of neuroethics engagement require proactivity. That is, engagement begins at early stages of the research, design, and development of technologies. Inclusivity means that the interaction is done with a wide variety of stakeholders, including citizens, and in particular, a good representation of those identified as vulnerable. And bidirectionality. The different publics are not just informed, but involved in assessing costs and benefits of different innovations and the risks and uncertainties that come with them. This is the goal when it comes to neuroethics engagement, to have this kind of engagement, not just informing the public of some of the promises and challenges of neuroscience and its products, and that is emerging neurotechnologies, but go a little bit beyond that and trying to truly engage by trying to listen to different stakeholders and get their insights. Only this kind of rich neuroethics engagement will advance mutual learning, promote multidirectional communication across different publics and disciplines, incorporate different points of view, and promote joint thinking and practice, improving representation. Thank you very much.